Now, Robert says, hey, Mehran, male 21, Scotland. Why can't I get rid of the ex out of my mind? It's been 4 months since we split up, and I still have the urge to look her up on social media. I get nervous when I look her up. Yes, you get nervous because that was yours. It was your girlfriend. And one of the worst things is, and your girlfriend is, when you see your girlfriend, you don't just see a person. You don't just see your girlfriend. You see all the emotions that you guys exchanged, all the intimacy that you had, all the feelings and the pleasures that you received and gave to each other. And that is why you don't want to look at her, because you're afraid if she is now engaged in giving that to someone else, somebody else, benefiting from all that warmth, all that pleasure, all that compatibility, all that good stuff that you guys felt with someone else. And that is a natural way that most of us, man or woman, but mostly men, are quite weary of, they get anxiety. But that's something that is in our genes ever since the caveman time. It's a feeling of possession. My woman. Woman is so important in life. If you're a heterosexual male, a woman is so important for you. It's engraved in your gene that you want to love, to protect, to provide for. That's how it's been for thousands and thousands of years. With this advent of freedom and independence and all that so forth, it doesn't simply just because the laws and interests and the cultures have changed, doesn't mean that our genetic DNA, our genetic code is changed as far as that emotions and sense of responsibility to protect women, to love a woman, to provide for a woman. It doesn't get washed away just because the traditions or the laws of the land or the outlook has changed. So that's going to give you, but you, by understanding that this is in your DNA, this is your genes, your reaction based on your programming, is that how you feel, then you will understand that there's no danger, there's no nothing really. It's just the way you react, like an instinct. Simple. And he says, I can't get her out of my mind. It's been 4 months since we split up. I still have the urge to look her up on and in social media. I get nervous when I look her up. Yeah. So don't you think then it's time for you to simply understand that the reason that you always think of her is because she was the last serious girlfriend with emotion that you had, the most recent one. And because a heterosexual male thinks about female many, many times a day, and because that urge, that feeling, that program is there regardless if you have a girlfriend or not, when that feeling comes in, you're naturally by default will be bringing up the emotional files and memory of the most recent girlfriend, most recent relationship that you had. Regardless of your gender, this is supposed to be, I think, in everybody. But because I'm talking about heterosexual male here, that's my understanding of it and expertise, as I don't have experience in anything else. Therefore, I talk about that relationship. And you guys switch it around to the kind of relationship that you guys are involved and how your genes are put together and your interests or inclinations are. But I talk about one kind of relationship because it would be easier for me to be able to deliver. Otherwise, it's always like I'm watching for every kind of a gender, and I just lose the train of thoughts. And before I finish it, I forget what it was that I want to say. So, see, now I forgot. Trying to explain that to make sure that I won't miss, communicating to everyone involved. So I forgot what I wanted to say now. All right. So you know, I will be using one kind of a relationship, and then you guys turn it around and fit it for your own kind of relationship. So as I mentioned, what did I mention? What was the question? Okay. Yeah, so anyhow, perhaps it's about time that you, because you think about sex so many times, and naturally the most recent relationship comes to mind, and then you will think about all the memory that you have with her, and so naturally then by default all the good memories come up. When the good memories come up, then what's there not to miss? Then you'll start missing your girlfriend, and then that will be encouraged to have more of her in your mind because it's pleasant. And with those information, those files, all the pleasantries and so on, there's certain pleasure that comes to you, and pleasure is addictive. You want more of that, and that's the whole cycle of it in a way. So best thing for you is to recognize the more you think about her, the more she comes to your mind as the most recent girlfriend you had, because you think about sex and intimacy so many times. The most recent relationship you had, that comes to your mind. With it, the information necessary, the information that you have which led to pleasure of her, with her, comes to your mind. With all these thinking, all the emotions and experiences that you had with her, which includes prerequisite steps necessary for desire to be born, it's already existing in your memory. With all those files of her, those information will also come up. When they come up to your memory, you feel them. When you feel them, it feels like they're being refreshed and they're actually happening right now. All those prerequisites for desire for her to be born is happening again. It's being refreshed because you just thought of all those emotional files. And because of that, desire is born again for her. But you got to learn how to stop the desire. And that's when you actually understand the point of desire coming about is when the sensories who have recognized the opportunity or the interaction, at one point, which we have discussed it before, they turn into images of how it benefits you. Whether it's a car you like and you sit in it and start imagining that you're driving it, how the friends will look at you, how your girlfriend will be thinking if you're driving that car, how you would look like if you're driving that car. All those images, when it's created, or whether it's some kind of a animal that you like, that you start patting the animal, your sensors help you to connect with the animal. Then the image of playing with the animal, if it's a horse, your image of you taking part in competitions or riding the horse, or an image of a relationship that you meet someone that you're interested in and you guys are holding hands, or promise of intimacy, or you having tea or coffee and conversing and touching hands or walking. All that creates an image at one point in the process of the prerequisites for desire to take place. An image of the benefits and the pleasure that you receive having to do with you is created. Once that image is created, you are ready to take another step towards making that permanent. That's when you want to buy the car, that's when you want to buy the horse, the animal, or that's when you want to commit to that relationship and go further. So stopping the thoughts and experiences, turning into image where you see the benefits of these train of thoughts and these sensories in relation to that thing that the desire is about to happen, is where desire does not come about and stops. And you got to learn that. So when these emotions come up, at one point you got to know where not to entertain it anymore, not to continue with looking up those emotional files and don't pay attention to it. So the image that is the last stage for the desire to be created will not take shape in your mind. Therefore, you will not desire her. And the steps, prerequisite steps for desire to be fulfilled or completed does not complete. Therefore, the desire does not take place. When the desire does not take shape and does not take place, then you are free from conditioning yourself to thinking about her all the time. And the less you think about her, as you all know, the less synaptic neurons and the bridges are created, and the sooner you will forget. Just like the less piano you play, the sooner you forget how to play piano as good as you used to. But the more you play, the better you become at it, and the sharper you become at it. So the more you think about these things, the more you want to think about it. And the less you think about, by using what I just told you about all these reasons why you think about her, then the sooner you will forget about thinking about her so often and so quickly. Okay, another sip of tea. All right, guys.